Hello everyone, this is Dave from Dave's Recent Things. I have been waiting all year for this, almost 365 days, maybe a little bit less than 365 days, but it is here, it is time for Hallow-week. For all of my new subscribers and people who don't know what Hallow-week is, 3 times a year I release one full week of Wreaths consecutively. So that is 7 episodes, plus one bonus episode right at the very end for Christmas, Easter, and Halloween. Of course, this time of year, it is all about Halloween, and day number 1 of Hallow-week is almost beginning. So, come back every single day for the next 8 days. While I'll be releasing one video per day with a Halloween wreath theme. Why don't I get started and I'll show you what I made. I'm going to be using a 14-inch wire wreath frame along with this velvet ribbon, it's wired, and this sheer ribbon with some glitter in it, along with a box of white ping pong balls and some googly eyes to add a little bit of fun to our wreath, along with my regular crafting utensils to create this project. I am starting off just wrapping around that sheer ribbon on my wreath frame, and I'm going to start off just adding a little hot glue to the bottom wire, folding it over and securing it there, and then I'm just going to carefully wrap that ribbon all the way around my wreath frame. Now I am carefully wrapping it because it is going to be visible. I'm going to cover some of it, but majority of it is going to be shown, so I want to be careful wrapping it. And once I finish my first roll, I'm just going to hot glue the end right down on the back side, hold it in place a little bit with my handy dandy little tool, and then I'm going to attach my second ribbon roll, doing the same method with a little bit of hot glue, using that little spatula to hold it in place. And then I'm going to continue just wrapping that ribbon all the way around. And I am using 2 rolls of that ribbon. There's a little bit left over, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in just a second. But here is our base wreath all ready to be decorated. The extra ribbon that I'm going to be using will be for the hanging attachment. So I'm just going to wrap that around, even it out a bit, and then I'm just going to decide where I want the length to end, tie a little bit knot, and then I'm going to cut that excess off. Once I cut that excess off, I'm just going to wrap that knot to the back side and glue it down, and that's going to be how I hang this wreath on my door. So I'm just going to let that glue dry for a little bit. Once it's all dry, I'm just going to start gluing those ping pong balls on my wreath frame. I don't really have a pattern for this. I knew I wanted like a little bit of a cluster on the right hand side, and I am making sure to glue the ping pong balls down with the writing face down so we don't see that writing. So I want to make sure it's nice and covered. And I'm just going to continue adding those eyeballs on there, or I should say ping pong balls. And my idea was to have a cluster of this kind of on the right hand side, coming up the right hand side as well. So I continue gluing all of those right on there and gluing them to each other as well to make sure they're nice and attached. Once that's all done, I decided I'm going to make a little bow for this. So I am cutting my ribbon at the 18-inch mark. So I have the ribbon number 1, which is velvet, ribbon number 2, which is that clear glittery ribbon. It has almost like a spiderweb pattern to it. And for our lengths, I'm going to cut 3 pieces at 18 inches for ribbon number 1. Ribbon number 2, 4 pieces at 18 inches as well. So that's a total of 7 pieces, approximately 11 feet or 126 inches of ribbon is what I'm using. Then I'm going to dovetail just one end of them. I'm going to leave the other end straight. I'm going to dovetail all those ribbons. And once that's done, it's time to create our little bow. So I'm just folding it right in half, a little bit over half, and then I'm going to create a loop and a tail, and I'm just going to hold it right in between my piece fingers. So this is going to create a bundle bow, just folding it, gathering it together, putting it in between my fingers. I'm going to fluff it up just a little bit to see and make sure it's how I want it to go. And then I'm just going to grab that pipe cleaner. This is a full-size pipe cleaner, and just wrap that right around. And that's going to create our beautiful little bundle bow. I'm going to spread out the tail, spread out the loops, And it's all ready to attach to our wreath. And to attach it to my wreath, I'm just going to spread open those pipe cleaner stems, flip it over, and I'm just going to attach it right to the back side, twist it a couple of times, and then cut off the excess. And I'm going to add a little hot glue. This is always optional, but I like to do that just to secure that pipe cleaner, make sure it's not going to come undone. And fluffing up that bow. You know, here at Dave's Recent Things, I always have to fluff up that bow. And for our final pièce de résistance, I'm going to add one more of those ping pong balls right in the middle of that bow. Now that that's all ready, I'm going to fluff up a little bit more, and then I'm going to bring in those googly eyes to add those googly eyes right to those ping pong balls. And all I'm doing is I'm just adding a little bit of hot glue on each ping pong ball, adding a small googly eye. I did try the bigger ones and they were a little bit too big, so there's a small and a medium size that I ended up using, and my last one right at the middle of that bow to create one more eyeball. And of course, you know, I'm going to go back and fluff that bow just a little bit more, but our eyeball wreath is all ready to go. Look at those eyeballs just looking everywhere, kind of spooky, kind of creepy. But then we have that big, beautiful bow and that wrapped wreath frame in that black ribbon. I just love and adore it. Here it is, hanging on my studio door in all its glory, taking a look all around. This was day number 1 of Hallow-week. Don't forget to click the playlist down below so you can see all the other videos in this series. Thank you so much for watching and joining me today for day number 1 of Hallow-week. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.